And that's Cash and your casters for today, Jay and Flakes.
It was a mess on Mirage, we cannot deny that in its slightest, and Big need to step up in a huge fashion if they want to hold any chance against the FaZe side. It's pistol round. Big will start things off on CT side. They barely won the knife round. I should add the word barely as a high sort of emphasis because it was really just down to the wire. It's going to be quick execution from the FaZe clan side as they make their way instantly on towards the A side. Totally uncontested. Bomb down, retake for Big.
Glad it wasn't just me that was getting hyped up over Nico's very close in their 1v3 in the knife round, but that aside, was certainly comical, that has to be said. But yeah, back into this round at least. Big Clan keeping it nice and slow for us, so giving us a bit of a chance and a bit of a chit-chat as they are playing the retake setup, of course, as Rain already begins to pick off Kyiv. Nico catching off the flanker that was next. Thompson realizing he needs to find himself a shot now or never tries, but fails up until he takes down Guardian. But is he a little bit too late to the party? Is Karrigan dismissing them on their push as he finds one, make that a second, make that a third. Karrigan with some beautiful pistol play as FaZe go lock and key with the first pistol on Cash.
Yeah, not a great start from Big. They were playing retake on A site initially as the setup came through, but just, yeah, too much to handle against FaZe, and they had the upgraded pistols and all ready just to shut down all the CTs in the right positions, and even the backstab was covered off. FaZe just read the entire playbook like it was a book, and Big will have no choice but to eco in this round. They're going to go with the eco for this case. They've only got next to man force buying with a little bit of armor and helmet to back up his CZ, but everybody else has only got a little bit of utility, upgraded pistols, and no armor for their side, so a lot of money being saved by this CT side to kick things off here on Cash. It will be Guardian starting things off, taking down Tabson as the first pick comes through. Mid control is gained. They're looking to split on towards the A side as Guardian gets another man on Godby. There's only next to deal with. He's up to the trouble of Locky. Will take down Olaf, looking for the second man, but he isn't quite able to finish it off. It's just, yeah, easy as from Guardian and Nico, closing out 4 kills, and Kyiv is left alone on the B side. Bomb will go down. It will be a second round on the board for FaZe.
Watching Guardian play there just kind of makes you want to sing "You Spin Me Right" round as he just kind of looks left, right, and centre. You never really know where his crosshair's going to go as he just flings itself across the map. Goals was hunting for Kyiv. Ideally, he was tagging him down from car, but at the end of the day, Kyiv doesn't really want to face him at this point. He wants to back on away and at least have a P250 to use going into that next round. As for FaZe, it is going to be their second and likely the third off the back of that. A real perfect start when you're T side. I think, you know, has to be said. I was surprised that Big Clan actually opted to start on the CT side, considering I think FaZe are at their most dangerous on their T side.
Yeah, I think we can very easily agree with that, especially after the last map showing up and sort of like the aggressive stance that FaZe can take. You know, such a loose style that they have all in all. You know, just playing out a standard default and then making a call later on, as I've often seen it kind of happen. Yeah, early start, as usual, going to the favour of the FaZe side. Big not showing up in the way that we would have hoped them to do so far, but it's early days, only 2 rounds in. They've got a 3rd round up and an eco for Big. A couple of flashbangs coming out from Godby, and again, upgraded pistols, but not a whole lot. A diffuse kit available. Bloke and Godby could go for a ninja, but I don't anticipate them probably managing to find that much. So once again, FaZe in towards this aggressive default. Guardian going up mid with his Galil. Doesn't get any information, but will open up checkers as able to just split on towards the B side. Not really much to say at this point, because it's just rifles versus pistols, and in this case, rifles win every single day. Or in this case, Molotovs win every single day. Nico finds the first. CT's rotating on mass, trying to see if they can shut them down. Nico does get a second. Godby does get Olafmeister, but that's all they will find is 4 players stay alive for the 3rd round for FaZe.
That's how the round will simply crumble, but this is the important one. Big Clan finally get to invest some serious firepower into things. It's the 4th round, it's an AWP on towards Kyiv, and the big talking point for me will be, does Kyiv get isolated in a way that he was in map number 1? Because Guardian had Kyiv's number every single fight that he took on the map. Kyiv simply was unable to apply any pressure with that scope, and that was a big missing link for Big Clan. They couldn't really portion off anywhere on the map, so it was problematic, but that's a good start. Kyiv taking down Olafmeister just as the B smoke blooms. Looking good. Playing close towards mid. Ballsy stuff. Rain makes it stick. The smoke, well, not for a criminal like him. Makes it work.
And now take a look at where the FaZe clan are going. They're going to be hitting the B side. There's only one man there to defend it. It's Godby. Kyiv has rotated away. Up and towards that mid position, going to get absolutely no information on where FaZe are playing from, but now the utility will rain on through, and now they just make their way in towards the site. Rain sprays, Carrigan gets a kill on next. Tabson does try and back the AWP from Keeb. We'll turn it into a 2 versus 2 at least, and no utility to try and keep this one from going down, but it will go down eventually. Nico makes his way on towards the site. Keeb and Tabson both retaking from the same position. Keeb waiting for that smoke to clear. Does get re-smoked by the CTs. I'm not sure if actually that's a little bit too deep to try and hold out a little bit of cover from Rain in the checker's position. Here they come on towards site. Rain peeks out, takes down Tabson. First man of full. Keeve got to consider his options. He's out of time, no defuse kit. And runs back in towards the tree position, hopefully looking for an exit frag, but will just cut his losses and save the AWP into the next round. FaZe 4-0. And Nico does go down at least, so that's another exit frag to put some dents in the FaZe economy. But still, the scoreline starting things off all FaZe once again.
The most hilarious thing about that round for me was I thought my smoke criminal reference was quite on point for Rain, and then he might as well kind of apply the bit of the flash level to it as well, because I mean, not only was he getting kills standing face first in smoke, but then he gets fully blind and just stares at his opponent dead set in the chest and sprays at him, and 5 minutes later gets another kill. His triple kill was certainly a bit all over the place to say the least, but the fact he gets the kills says a lot really, as FaZe do go 4-0, just like you depict. And I mean, they do have an AWP to play with here, but it's backed by CTs and P250s. Thankfully, they got a bit of utility. It's 2 smokes and 2 flashes, which basically means you can smoke air main, you can smoke mid, but I mean, what more can you really do?
A lot of aggression coming in from the CTs in that last round. In this round, it won't be any different, but in this case, they're going to get caught off guard once again. Good flashbang to stall the push, and Keeb will get a good position to try and make some work, but it's not going to happen. Legging in now with a P250, trying to make his way in. Tabson does get 1 kill, but all in all, the CT defensive is just going to crumble to pieces once again. All up to God B. 1 versus 4. Little damage being done to FaZe, and backstabbing coming from Olaf Meister as well. Easy round, as you would expect it to go from the big side. And really, it comes down to this next round, I think, more than anything else. It's just the rifles coming out, the AWP for the first time on the CT side. 4M4, standard set of utility across everybody. This is where Big need to try and make something work. Otherwise, again, we could be staring down the barrel of a 16-3 or worse for this CT side. It's max loss bonus, phase of an AWP in play as well. 4 AKs, of course, to back it all up.
Holding patiently now to see what the play from Big Clan is going to be. Are you just going to sit in your default? Are you going to try and change things up? I mean, what is the game plan here? I mean, you have, okay, you've left a player solo up towards A, but you are rotating next up towards Car, so that's already a decision that's been on this veto. You see FaZe opting to use a fair chunk of the utility, that being flashes and such, in towards A main to try and bait a bit of aggression, and the 4 players actually have taken it and rotated it up. Again, just holding on towards mid and does get a double kill for his trouble, so that's pretty good. Next, making that to a 3rd, make that a 4th as Tabson rips off the head of Carrigan as he pushes out towards the site. Finally, Guardian picks up a pick for FaZe, but it's a little too late. Tabson with the swift trade. Big Clan pick up a round to play with.
And that's a solid defensive you need to hold against FaZe. You know this is a powerful team, so you need to come up in with as much confidence in your defensive as possible and make it work. And Big managed to make it work in this case. They get a double AWP out. They don't even need to invest into the second AWP, although I think they may have done. No, they haven't. Never mind. Scratch that. So, saved weapons. All the advantages coming up big for this next round. Only losing a player as well, so they're allowed to build that economy, something the FaZe Clan were very good at doing over on the Mirage. I mean, disallowing Big to get any sort of ground at all, even when they took rounds away from FaZe. So, back in to the default. Players out towards mid, garage, and in towards the B halls as well. The AWP from Keeb is watching it out at a much more aggressive angle this time, and whether FaZe expect this is another story of its own right. Got the information on where Olaf is, and the Molotov will push him away from Sunroom, and Keeb does manage to pick him off as a great start for the CT side, but now they've got to turn their attention towards mid. Leggy's going to hear the information, hear the utility start dropping on through. Good grenade to tag up several players. That's 2 picks so far. 3rd pick even coming in from Leggy with the AWP, shutting down 1. Next knows where Rain is, finally connects the spray and leaves it all on Nico. 1 versus 5, and FaZe not looking so hot in this round. It looks to be a 2nd on the board for Big.
Looking like Big Clan finally have managed to wake themselves up a little bit. A quick slap in the face from FaZe as they get themselves to 5. Big Clan now doubling down for a 2nd as Nico, the last man to stand between them in that round. It was 40 seconds for him to play with here, and the odds of actually claiming a victory here is basically almost nil to none. Next is going to be tucked in close mid and actually just takes the peek anyway, rips his head right off, and there's the 2nd ultimately for Big Clan, which is exactly what they needed right now. as they look to take control of FaZe's economy and break them once and for all, to then push for equalization, which, when you look at the scoreline right now, is actually very, very doable, because they beat out FaZe here, they get themselves their third, and they take the eco and should really be able to get to 4, and they're just one step away from going 5-5. So for Big Clan, this is a very important point of the game now, potentially a turning point for this scoreline, if they play their cards right. FaZe, of course, will try and upset them here, but that's going to be a big ask. I mean, it's a interesting buy through AK-47s, a UMP and a CZ. How's it going to play out for you when you hit towards the ASAC?
Nice grenade from Tabs to start things off, though. Got it very deep in towards A main. Took a lot of damage off Rain and Off-Meister. Nico even getting tagged up a little bit as he makes his way in towards Squeaky, but FaZe have decided to commit to the A site, set up instantly in outer main. 3 players trying to wrap their way on through and bracket the CT side, but Tabson gets the first. Next sprays on the 2, looking for the third man of Guardian. The CZ can't help you now as the bomb gets dropped, and Carrigan, the IGL, is left alone to fall to the clutches of Nex. A 4K for the man as Big go up 3-5 against FaZe.
There you have it. They get themselves the third round. This is the chance. You take down FaZe now, behead them while they're sitting there on this eco, and Big Clan, you basically have 5-5 presented to you on a silver platter. I mean, I say it with so much enthusiasm because it's generally such an important moment for Big Clan now, because they're actually able to fight and contest this map, which is huge for this series overall. Proving that they're not going to give up and just bow down to the gods that FaZe are trying to become, and arguably already are in some cases.
The peak from Legia already spotting out lots of aggression coming down towards the mid position. We'll peek out for the second. Can't quite find it, but yeah, this should just be locked down from Big. Not a whole lot that FaZe have to go in with this one. One of the rare eco rounds that we're seeing in this series. One more man falls to the hands of the AWP. 3 P250s left to try and make a plant at the very least on the A bomb site, which is where it looks to be going on our back of Carrigan. His teammates are falling to pieces. Rain, Guardian, Olaf, all 3 men down, 2 versus 5 for Nico and Carrigan. Held up in mid, got a little bit of a chance. Got to run into the crossfire of Nex and Tabson, and that's not going to be a very pretty sight when they do decide to go there. Nico stacking on up, Tabson watching it out. No utility, no flashbang, the flash their way in towards this kill. Nico spots him, Tabson sprays on the both, and it's cleaned up very easily by the CT. So as you would expect, it's all up to FaZe now with this buyback to hopefully stop the comeback.
This is it. This is that round we're talking about. 5 AK-47s from FaZe to try and stop it. But a huge growth spurt from Big Clan have put them to 4, and something tells me nothing's going to stop them now. They are on a roll. 4 back-to-back rounds in a row. What FaZe? What would a FaZe going to change, really, is a good question. I mean, after dropping a fair few rounds, you got to feel like they're going to stop playing so loose and so aggressive and start to reformulate their ideas somewhat as Rain peeks in towards A main, looks to take a little bit of control. It's a actual standard T-set default from FaZe. They just hold on towards B, they make sure that pushes can come through. Guardian has the option to get a little bit aggressive around that B main smoke if he wants to, but even he doesn't. He just sits back towards wonderful toxic room and just make sure that the aggression comes in from the CT side, which certainly prompts a little bit of a later round play from FaZe, but they've been struggling towards that quarter round. We've seen Keith step up with the AWP and actually do wonders now, getting kill at least every single round. Got beat, pinning down Boost with a great surprising position, leaving Rain lost for words. FaZe are struggling.
Yeah, for the first time so far, losing that first pick once again. Godby even going to get a little bit more aggressive and hold down the other side to try and throw FaZe for a loop, but they're going to make their way in towards the B bomb site instead. Been successful so far at holding it down as Nico gets the first kill. Keep comes up with a nice double, looking for the triple. He knows where that last man is. Godby does fall, but Nex on the backstab, looking for a small pick, so looking to try and outflank somebody. Indeed, he picks up Guardian, but Olaf is still fragging. Got his first in the round and looking to get the bomb down at 11 HP. Not much else he can do. A grenade from Legia would be all she wrote for Olaf, and now he does get forced out into the open with so many Molotovs landing on that site. It's going to be Next to take the final kill, and even the scoreline, 5-5 of Big.
Big Clan really making it stick at this point. Momentum in their favor. Money to be made too. Bear in mind, Next up to $10,000 now. Legia also surpassing that marker. Kyiv almost nigh on 12,000. It's some serious bank for Big Clan, which is crucial as well in terms of just how long it's going to take for FaZe to break them. FaZe, they've got nothing left on a lot of their players. I mean, Guardian literally has $0 to spend. They've cobbled together some sort of buy here, and they're going to try and push it up towards B, but even that's a bit of an ask. Olofmeister, thankfully, they want to get a bit of a miracle-like pick through the smoke on towards God B just as it blooms. But That's one frag. One frag and many. Ooh, Guardian, that's nice though. Spraying through the metal sheeting. Opens up for a second as he lost for words. Neki now still looking for that opening, but you can't help but feel a little bit awkward. The big one line up on this retake. It's a 3v5.
Very, very unlucky set of circumstances for Big. Might even have to back off and save this one because they're now 2 versus 5 retake. Leggy does get one pick finally with the AWP, but Nico's just there to try it right back. The rifles are just falling out of the hands of the CT side. And Leggy, what are you doing? You're never going to win in that particular stance. You've got an AWP, man. At the very least, Big have an opportunity to buy down. They've got lots of the money. But yeah, that round started off pretty horribly, just not being able to land those first picks. FaZe getting a lucky pick through the smoke. One player done a 1 HP, a wall banger from the checkers position. It just really was not up towards the CT side at all. And it's Leggy here as well with the AWP, trying to find that pick above the smoke, just flipped the shot, and from there, that's it, you know, that's the end of it. 5-5, those 5-6 favor of FaZe, but double or back in play from Big Clan, of course, hopefully to try and make something work in this defensive.
You can see our FaZe are being much more cautious than they were in that previous map. Instead of just taking the jewels willy-nilly, they're actually holding things. Guardian very cautious of the fact that a main peak could have came through. The smoke does bloom. That is going to buy a little bit more time for FaZe to set themselves up in main, if they so choose, as Keeve still locking down B main. No one from FaZe really has touched that part of the map since Keeve has been able to find himself 2 or 3 kills nearly every time FaZe have gone that way. So you can clearly see how necessarily a fear of that AWP has come through in this second map, but a big change from map 1 to map 2.
Offensive being set up by FaZe. Gonna make their way in towards A site again this time, and Olaf will get the first pick. Rain comes out on towards the boost spot and takes out Tabson. So once again, we're down to a 3 versus 5, but Big have a little bit more map control than FaZe did in that last round. 37 seconds on the clock now. They need to try and make their way in towards a good position. Bomb on the back of Carrigan, a boost comes in, Rain gonna make his way in towards mid, and Olaf has already made his way on towards the B site, sprays down Cave, and turns it into a 5-on-2, and FaZe suddenly come back to life here. And Big Clan just gonna get locked completely down out of this one. Started off well so far. Suddenly, just like that, FaZe get 2 picks on the round falls apart. It's gonna be 7 rounds on the board to T side. At the very least, next does get Rain. But still.
May well have been a 5-round streak for Big Clan, but FaZe have already looked to stem it before it got too far gone. Problematic here as Next does a fair chunk of damage, getting to a double kill towards the end of this one. That bomb is still going to explode, so the outcome of the round is still the same. It's now just about how much money FaZe are able to scarper on away with, which is actually quite an important topic when you do look at the bank of FaZe. It's low, it's not pretty at all. Another good kill. I mean, FaZe, you just want to keep giving him to Next. He's got 4 at this point. He's picked up an AWP. The guy's literally made so much value out of saving right now.
Attack pause coming in from Big as well. Well, I take this chance to figure things out, as you know, because at this point they're down to 2 rounds of lost bonus, and the money that they've got so far has been off the back of that 5-round win streak. You know, the money that they've got left, they're going to buy down at least one more time. They have to think about probably having to play a little bit less restrictive. So they've got to come up with a game plan going into this next round and trying to shut down FaZe in a similar sort of fashion that they did all those rounds ago. FaZe are also once again on the verge of winning out their T-side half, similar to how they did it on Mirage, except obviously there it was CT-sided. The aggression of FaZe starting to show up in its throws right here. Big having a couple of defensive measures that are working out for them, but they need to find a little something extra to really take the fight back against FaZe. They're going to have to go up against a full buy here. Not the best in the situation, considering FaZe did lose 4 players at the end of that last round. Can have a UMP on Nico, 3 AKs for everybody else. Think about that in their own regard, but they have got their buy up in their own side of the court. 1 AWP, 4 M4s. A full set of incendiaries, smokes, flashbangs, grenades, all the works. Not the same can be said about FaZe though.
This is why it was so surprising to see the way they approached that last round until they're just hunting down Next. Giving him 4 kills in an AWP like that is very random. Their economy is by no means perfect. But either way, Olafmeister looking to see if he can finally test over towards B, or is that just going to be an off-the-cuff name? Yep, it actually will be that. Quick trade from Squeaky Door, but Rain, check your corners, man. You're giving next the easy ones. Assist towards MBK. Legia gets a frag towards mid as Olafmeister neglects to check his left-hand side. A lot of simple issues from FaZe that hand over the frags in this round, and it does put them in a very hard spot. They don't check quad. Next, given another easy frag off the back of that. Finally, they deal with it, but it's Olafmeister. Guardian, sorry, to try and make a 1-3-3 work. A ballsy play, but well met by Kiev. These Big Clan move up to 6.
You pretty much described it right there. It was all down to the simple issues. FaZe only lost because they didn't check the necessary corners. They didn't check left side of garage when making their way up in towards mid. They didn't check quad. They didn't check the MBK corner, you know. This has all sort of been the issues that they seem to be having basically throughout this entire map, you know. Big have been able to shut that whole thing down and start bringing some rounds to their own side together off the back of all of this. Now they just need to find a play to round it all out, and then FaZe will be out of this map potentially. They have got the scoreline down to 6-7, and FaZe down to a 4 spy here. AK coming out, a UMP, and it looks like to be the eco execution or the 4 spy execution, whatever you want to call it. 3 CZs, of course, to back it all up. Godby making his way onto the side. Sprays the first, trying to connect it onto the second, but he misses every single shot. As a result, Nico and Rain are going to be able to take back Godby, and Kiev has got to make his way on towards the side. He gets sprayed down by Rain, and Nico's running off one more side. Next makes a ballsy play in towards the side. He does take him down, but quick trades come back from Nico, and Carrigan Tabson trades it, and he efficiently becomes the last man alive for the CT side. Carrigan and Guardian left in a 2 versus 1 situation, favourable to the FaZe clan, but Tabson got to come up hero here.
Such a good position as well from Guardian means that the round is simply over and thrown in as the CZ is just going to hold the angle. The headshot is there to be found, and FaZe look to secure themselves a 9-6 scoreline as their only opposition now is going to be a cobbled together buy from Big Clan, an AWP, an M4A1S, and potentially that being it, as a FAMAS is going to enter the server, but the rest are on CZs and deals. That right there is certainly a wish-washy buy, but even with that the overall context of the round, it kind of feel like Big Clan may get gifted a few weapons, judging by the way FaZe have been able to make a few pushes. That's a ballsy play from Kiev, though, up on the back box. It's the first time they've gone for the same main sort of presence. Is it going to work out for them? A nice deep nade as well. There's a lot of spread damage. On towards Guardian and Nico, both being put down to just near enough half. Carrigan over on towards Door, trying to see if he can catch someone by surprise, but a heated situation. He will now not be diffused. It doesn't mean anything's going to happen either. Quite delayed. Carrigan still trying to rear his head towards Door, but neither side are finding a frag. A stalemate, and an awkward one of that.
Big have got aggressive stances, but they're not going a little bit too greedy. Meanwhile, Next also holding down for the information. He's going to see the shadows of players dropping in from the boost spot. Does get traded back by the AWP, and Kiev comes back into a 2-for-1. So Big managed to take control. Kiev even gets Carrigan down to 1 HP. This is not looking good for FaZe at all, considering that Big had to force play back into this round. They will go back in towards mid, try and reset up their default. They have got a little bit of presence on B side once again. Olafmeister playing a little bit of luck, but Key's watching out the boost spot, trying to see if he can land it onto the one man, but doesn't quite find Guardian. Olaf counters and Godby takes him out of the action, so once again, the situation just gets worse for FaZe. 30 seconds, bomb down in mid. Look at this, Guardian is looking for Leggy. He actually does find him, keep him while on the A site, takes out Carrigan and leaves it in a 1 versus 3 with Guardian himself to try and clutch it for FaZe. 17 seconds, outflanked by Tabson and outfragged by the CET side. 8-7 will be the ending scoreline of the half. Well played from FaZe, but well played from Big.
It's certainly a much more close and contested game, and an interesting point is just how wide open the difference in frags between every player on the server actually is. I mean, same point applies to both FaZe and Big Clan right now. Very big differences in those numbers. I mean, you look from 14 to 5, from 19 to 4. Next, having a very great game, has to be said. The crucial part of Big Clan being able to get to 7. But what can Big Clan now do on their T side? This is where they're going to be testing at a bit of a different level. Can they penetrate the defense of a structured team like FaZe, who, sure, things aren't going to be perfect within the defenses, but the raw skill and experience they have alone as a lineup, especially after playing an event like ESL New York, is going to be quite a tough thing for them to handle. And we're seeing that here. Olafmeister and Rain both playing off each other perfectly. Godby finally secures the trade. Is it a little too late, though? I mean, they can get on towards the B site by pushing out from checkers. They've got to deal with Olafmeister and Carrigan, who are going to be set up from heaven. Olafmeister swiftly losing his head, and Godby clearing up the site. Carrigan can't peek from heaven at all. Kiev, a double kill for him. Suddenly, the stars are looking up. There's 1 Nico or 1v3. A much tougher round indeed.
This round sort of seemed like it was going to be all FaZe clan. Suddenly it's turned into the advantage of Big. The trades coming back to their favor and FaZe unable to keep their man advantage. Nico, of course, as you said, in a 1 versus 3, trying to make his way on towards the B site, back in checkers. And does spot out Key, trying to take his head off, does eventually land a couple of tags and gets the frag. But now they know where he is, and indeed he takes a pop shot. God B peaks, and he only needs a single shot to shut him down. And Big will even the scoreline 8-8. Of course, with conversions to follow. Not looking like the best of forms from FaZe Clan, though. Could start losing a little bit of this lead. Big likely to make their way up towards 10-8 before that buy comes in from the CT side. So Big, much better form, I'd say, from that last map.
Looking a little bit more comfortable, has to be said, which is pretty apparent, as I believe this was their map pick. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was the case. Certainly something to be keeping an eye towards. We are looking at a bit of B-main aggression from Big Clan here, sending 4 players over on towards just the early parts of main. But nothing really coming of it just yet. No point of contact being made as Rain is peeking into them, but neither side really are netting themselves a kill just yet. Bit of early damage and a Molotov play to force Rain back. Gets right behind those boxes, tucking into the corner as Nico playing headshot angle will hold for the push.
Watching and waiting. Big gotta make that move eventually. Got a minute to do so, so they've got time to reset up for A site if they want to do so. But I mean, they have got Carrigan pushed up aggressive, so he's getting this information for the CT side. Once he goes down, though, and once he spots anybody, FaZe will know exactly what the play is, and indeed he spots all 3 coming around the corner. So the CTs will wrap on through, and Big realise this as well. Tabson's going to try and clean up that first kill, and they will rush directly on towards this A site. Flash bangs away, smokes off the cross. And the bomb will be allowed to get on towards the site with a retake incoming from FaZe. This could still fall apart for Big. They've got 4 deagles, so 4 headshots will be the end of it. But Keeve on a backstep of his own takes down 1. Nico will fall, as will Rain and Olaf. And it's going to be left all to Guardian 1 versus 4. Left to fall back and save because, well, what choice does he really have? It's a deagle, sure, but not really going to win a 1 versus 4. It will be 9-8, and Big will finally take away the lead from FaZe.
Certainly a surprising affair, and credit has to be given to Keeve once again for just being in the flank. The Eagles could have had a chance, but before even allowing them that opportunity, he just cuts them down with a flank from behind, stopping them from even getting going. And that's what you need from him right now as a player. You need someone on Big Clan to try and deny that firecracker effect from FaZe. If you can stop them from even lighting the fuse, then there can be no explosion. It's as simple as that. As FaZe sit with no money to spend either, meaning Big Clan, they don't just have the lead, but Big, they should have the lead by a fair few rounds here, as their 10th should be relatively easy for them to find against an opposition with just USPs and a Deagle and Olafmeister. This should be their 10th. That should be a 2-round difference. And from there, well, the map is their oyster. Play their cards right, and things can really begin to look up for them.
Not early picks, not early start from either side. FaZe, of course, have only basic pistols to work with. The Deagle, of course, from Olaf. Flashbang and a grenade, but both of those have been used pretty sparingly, and FaZe are now completely out. No real armor either. We'll go in for the triple peak, which could take down Keeve. Indeed, it does take down Keeve. But a rifle that can be recovered. Sadly, not the kind of rifle that they were hoping for. Only a UMP. They will lose. Big will make their way on towards the A site as FaZe realizes once again an A hit. They've got Carrigan there to defend it. USP at close range. Tabson takes him out. Spots out several more players. And it does take a second round before going down to Rain. And Legia also coming up with 1 more kill onto Rain. Should turn it into a 3 versus 2. Our 3 versus 1. With Godby getting the easy spray. This round going about as well as you expect it. But again, Big not holding the best of forms right here. Losing out by a couple of players. Let's keep the economy modest. If Nico can get 1 more as well, does put them into a deficit overall in this round. Does spot our next, but isn't quite able to land the kill. Need to find that last AK if they can. But did they have 2? I can't remember how many AKs they had, but by the way, they will go for a full buy in this next round alongside FaZe before M4's the AWP. So all buy down for the first rifle.
Important round now for FaZe. They don't have too many to work with after rules. They do have to start to step up and show themselves before Big Clan do get too far ahead in this game, as already an early tag comes through. Olafmeister with the 62 HP. Pretty nasty shot to start the round off, because every little thing can knock certainly counts towards something. The mid smokes come through very early. Resmoke from Olafmeister, but he's going to go for it anyway. Guardian just holding down B main in a very Keeve-like fashion. As Big are all grouped up, clustered towards A, and it's looking like this could just be a standard old faithful execute. And I really like this from Keeve, just how far back he's playing. Albeit not playing through the crack, playing up on the upper side of the post. But even then, he's doing his job. He's stopping any B presence at all. You know, you simply can't get aggressive when he's up on that angle.
Minutes still left to go. Big are going to look to wrap in towards the A site very quick with the utility pouring on through. It's a full set execution coming in. And Legia will start to enter alongside his teammates, but Carrigan's there being the linchpin, does take the first man, they get traded back quickly by Tabs, and next comes in with a kill. Nico round towards fourth, it gets 3 and the fourth. Perfectly placed from Nico, and shuts down as many players as he can. In this case, it was the brunt of the entire offensive. Big shut down in their finest to bring FaZe Clan up 9-10 against Big.
Nico doing just Nico things, and downright Big. You call a tactical pause. You sit back and you respect what Nico has just done to you, because that right there is decimation whipped out. A quadra kill from him as he just somehow turns a situation that most players would only find maybe 1 or 2 kills, doubles down on it and finds 4. That's honestly madness, and it's such a good round for FaZe to find. They needed a way back in. They needed something to pump them up and say, boys, we got this. And Nico, well, he just says, boys, my name's Nico. Come on, you know me better than this. No surprise that he's currently sitting 20-13 either after that play. But a pause does come through, and that is of the making of Big. And they have a lot to talk about. If they want to keep this lead, but only 1 being the difference, it can disappear just as quickly. They picked it up.
Huge round by Nico. And as you say, not just because it was a 4K, but also because it could put FaZe into high spirits to bring back the lead to their favor and close this series out. They are only within 1 round of Big, and Big, I think, are struggling to get a full buy together. Buying down, at the very least in their most, they're going to have a limited amount of utility here. 1 rifle has been dropped for Legia. It's an AK. So, 4 AKs, 1 AWP. The double AWP setup coming in from FaZe, however, tells a very different story for the CT side. This is a reset round. If Big lose this one, then they're going to be down to pistols, down to a basic eco in its own right. Setting up for the A site, which cost them so much in that last round. They're going out in towards the default, put Keeve on the boost. Olaf is there to cover it. He anticipates the peak coming in from the T side. Orpa, but does he realize what's going on right here? Do they realize that they're not really playing with any particular site? They've got Nico up on the Shroud boost. And FaZe will hold down and wait for a T side push to come in.
Curious on how much Legia is hurt, to be honest. Does he know that Nico's up on boost? So many questions, not enough answers. Try and get ourselves in the mind, the point of view of Big right now. They seem to be very much grouping up towards mid. No real control towards B main, and bear in mind, you've got Ray now posted up on a very aggressive position, supported by Guardians a little bit further back with that AWP, but still, nonetheless, it is a very aggressive movement from FaZe. It gives them a lot of map control to work with, a lot of confidence in the information they have. But they have given up mid, which mid on cash is certainly one of the strongest is to hold. Oh, how are Big going to leverage that as a good deep flash comes through? Angle still to be held. Guardian trying to do work. Rain peekaboo with Tapson finds 1. Guardian a second as well. Bomb to be dropped on the site now. Carrigan has it within his grips. Holds on the cross. Molotov comes out. Should make things a little bit more difficult, but Carrigan straight away mollies off the bomb, denies it from being picked up with ease. Deep frag when he comes through. That's even a little bit more damage. You got next trapped in pit. And this is so difficult for him to swing out through. Finds 1, but quick trade from Guardian, who is on 4 with the AWP. As the Molotovs from Carrigan runs the time down just enough to leave FaZe with an easy win.
Carrigan, the IGL's mind, knows exactly how to play this situation. He Molotov'd off that bomb and realized that Big only had a handful of seconds to really get themselves back into play to get that bomb down. So every second there was the most valuable for the FaZe clan. Knew exactly how to play it. It was just so perfect from that CT side. And from there, it leaves Big on absolutely nothing to work with here. They've got the AWP saved by Keeve. But outside of that, not a whole lot. Basic pistols, bits of Kevlar, bits of helmets. And scattered utility across the entire T side as once again FaZe Clan going for the exact same setup AWP on boost, one man up at the Shroud boost. That is Nico, backed up by Carrigan, all off in mid. And they just once again hold down and wait for Big's plays. Could be an A execution. They have got the opportunity to rotate into the necessary positions. They've also got one man in Squeaky, but time's ticking, still 60 seconds left on the clock. Still every opportunity for Big is available.
Waiting it out, nice and patiently. Tabson posting up on the box, waiting for either Legia or himself to make a move. Depending on how they want to approach this, as Nico up on top of those boxes, a man who some raise the question of what on earth do you possibly do against him, as they do not check Shroud. They allow him to do his thing. Finally, Key deals with him. Tech 9 to slay, as 2 kills are connected. Olfmeister and AWP on quad. This is a tough ass, strangled by these pistols that surround him. Putting FaZe in a very tough 2 versus 4. A frag grenade running deep, though, will play the left of Tabson. Already one to be found. Ray now ready to push up on the site. Kiev in a main. Next playing close to the smoke. You've got 2 AWPs here. That means distance from FaZe can be employed. A frag grenade yet again going to run deep. That's going to land right on Gulb B. That puts him down just to 15 HP. Molotov standing right in front of him. Rain taken down next. Gulb B trying to survive. The Tech 9 does wonders. Kiev, a quick shot towards Rain. Means Big will take it to 11.
Only barely, though. 2 players staying alive, and they were getting tagged up by all the utility and all the shots on shots. The grenades could have taken down any number of players. They were all so clustered here on that A site. So there was a great opportunity for FaZe to shut it down with a single piece of utility. Quick pause coming on through. Carrigan's called it for FaZe. Tactical in nature. I wouldn't be surprised if that is the case, but we don't know 100% just yet. So they're going to get themselves quickly unpaused here, though, so maybe not as quick as maybe not as tactical as we expected, maybe just a technical, but either way, a good opportunity for FaZe to think about this. Haven't got quite enough to justify a full buy. They could force it down. It looks like they're just not going to go for that. Just standard USPs, no Kevlar, no helmets, only a smoke and a grenade. Similar sort of setup they had a few rounds ago when they were on full eco, because they're not going to have a whole lot to face up against Big Clan.
Next trying his absolute hardest to help his team push it over the line. At this point, you've got Kiev and Tabson both stepping up to the plate as well. Godbeat trying to survive in these smokes with the Tech 9 like in the previous round. Not a big ask coming in from Big, but they are making something out of it. Carrigan going to try and push through a smoke in towards mid, but next mopping up that kill once again. FaZe acknowledging the fact they're on just these pistols here, will try and go for some aggressive stack-like plays. It's evident when you look towards this B site. But for Big right now, the fact they get to go to 12 is certainly huge for them. That means that 23rd buy round is going to be such a defining moment within this series. FaZe, the team that in map 1 won 3 back-to-back 1v3s. Nico, Carrigan, and then Guardian. Map 2 has been a much closer affair. We've seen some stoked up 1v3s themselves, but most importantly, we've seen some close engagements from Big, which have been the biggest moment. But they still got to close it out. Dealing with these pistols, of course, in nice and comfortable fashion. Nothing really to be complaining about. It's just Rain and Nico, the last 2 left remaining. It's still, of course, just a P250 and a USP. It's nothing really to be screaming about, nothing to get hyped up about. Just a waiting game at this point. Big just need to play it smart, make sure they don't lose anything, potentially feed the UMP. It's all a win-win.
How long can FaZe last? That is basically the bottom line of the question, because there's no way they're winning this round. Rain goes falling, Nico 1 versus 5, and sadly, no damage being done by FaZe. I like particularly how they play those eco rounds, those pistol rounds, when they just hold FaZe at a very aggressive angle and try to triple peek one player to at least get one of the rifles out of their hands, you know, to do some damage. In this case, not to be from FaZe. They tried to stack, didn't work, and Big now have full reign of the map, of the site, bomb down, and Nico left with a P250 and a lifeline at the very least. It will be 12-10. As you say, for Big, and FaZe losing a little bit of grip away from this map. If Big want to take this to map 3, then there could be a decent shot in the dark that they could pull the upset of the series. They started things off horribly for 16-3 on Mirage. FaZe definitely have the upper hand when going into this one. Of course, we're down to the last few rounds of the matchup right here. FaZe lose this, we could potentially be going to map point for Big. They've got a full buy to stop it. AWP, 3 M4s and 1 UMP. 2 defuse kits in play, but a limited amount of utility up against a single AWP buy of the Big side.
Guardian, we're looking to lock down B main. I was hoping for an early pick on towards Kiev, but both sides have been very respectful of each other's movements. Both playing a very intense game of chess up against each other as they look to see who can find a pick. Running the clock now right on down as early as possible from Big's perspective. 1 minute 20 is nothing at all in the grand scheme of things. They look to let it keep on ticking. Good mollies in towards mid, another smoke to come through from Olofmeister just to block off any sort of aggression from Big as they are going to be slowly but slowly shuffled over on towards B. This is where Guardian is about to be tested. One player to hold it down is Rough Keeve, still looking to pin him down, of course, in return. But this is such a ballsy play from FaZe to leave him solo, and with no information, surely a rotation should come through, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Karrigan finally getting himself on over, but there's no utility this time around, though. Molotov saved the round. Big. They're playing FaZe. Oh, it's perfectly here. The fake comes through, the quad smoke being lined up. He's going to get thrown out. Potentially a fake, potentially even a double fake. Who knows at this point? Big has so many options. Rain has a few steps to play with. And information, at least something that's a little bit more accurate as to everything else that Big have picked up in this round.
20 seconds on the push, but Nico gets aggressive, takes down God B, drops the bomb, and look at this, the rest of FaZe clan are here and ready. Guardian gets one more onto Tabs, and he's completely blind though. Meanwhile, Olof on the site does get down one, next comes up to 7 seconds, 6 seconds. They've got to get the bomb down right now, unfortunately. Next gets there just in time. Keith to lock out one more frag and leaves it up to Karrigan on the backstab. A very ballsy play from Nico, and it almost worked out now. It's up to the IGL to see if he can clutch it out, and in this case, the answer is no. 13-10 favor to the T side.
FaZe at this point pitched in a challenging position. Once again, they're going to have to take this one as a flat eco, allowing Big to get up to 14. Going to find themselves truly tested. These rounds are starting to get lesser. But even with that said, things can always change with just the tip of a hat. So we'll wait and see. They clan, though, putting on a much stronger showing towards the latter end of this T side.
Not much really that FaZe can do in their current predicament. Just the standard pistols once again. As Big have forced them back to a very basic round indeed, and so the pick should just rain in. They should not have much of a chance as next even peeks back around one more for Karrigan in mid. Leave it all up to Guardian. CZ and a dream in his hand to hold off the B site, which is initially looks like where Big are going to be playing from. Nico getting a couple of good shots on some players out towards this main aggression push. And Olof trying to catch off Tabs and getting a little bit too aggressive, and indeed he does get punished for overextending. One AK dropped. FaZe was just too good to save that much. Molotov away to try and keep Olof from getting his hands on it, but he does, and he actually turns it into a kill as well onto Legia. So FaZe doing a little bit extra damage. Not that bad, even with Galio coming up with one more kill. Suddenly the man advantage is back to their favor, but the bomb does get picked up. And 2 AKs for Nico and Olof to work with. Are they going to go for this retake? I think they might just do it. They're going to have to challenge up against Next first. Watching down that checker position, he's got to be wary of Nico right around him. He's going to hear the scopes coming in from the guns. Olof even going to play with distraction. USP does take the first head, leaves it up to Olof, who takes one more kill back. 1 versus 1, 4K for Next. He does lock it out for Big, but that got way too close to call. FaZe took a lot more damage than Big should have let them go for. It's 14-10 though, and FaZe probably have one more buyback to keep themselves in this match.
Through blood, sweat, and tears, Nex is pushing his team to victory right now on this map, 33-13. If that doesn't say something, I don't know what will. FaZe now 4 is the difference, 2 the difference from Big to close this one out. Too close to cool almost. It's FaZe starting to look like they've fallen short. The reality of your third map sinking in always comes quite concerning. Only imagine the possibility of Big playing with a little more hope, a little bit more passion. They're playing their hearts out so far. Once it comes down to that third map when it's all doable, I think Carl's going to see something truly quite scary. Big have shown us in the past they played an exceptional Inferno at the Major. Already we are going to see some mid-control come out from Guppy. Aggression in towards A main from FaZe. 2 players to take it. Eve looking to respond, but forced back by Molotov.
Thank God he was as well, because he could have double peeked straight into the clutches of the C2s. That would have been a pick that Big can't really afford to lose. Here they come though, set up in mid, Squeaky and Main, ready to try and close in on this A site and go for the push. Carrigan is going to be leading the defensive takes down next. Did he spot out Tabson? I don't know, but the grenade's going to do its damage. Olof comes up with a trade on Tabson, turn it into a 4-on-2, and Legia and God B are just shut out in their finest. Legia falls next and leaves it all on the last man alive. 1 versus for the IGL for Big. Can he clutch it out in a way? Carrigan takes the first and the second, looking for the third man. He spots Olaf. And Rain comes in from the backstab on mid to finally shut him down and bring an 11th to FaZe. A round they needed to win, and a round that they will win in their finest. 14-11 favour to Big.
I was thinking to yourself, FaZe, be careful when you see Go B getting 2 kills. They're looking for a third. So close, just touching distance from that third frag in A main. That could have been doable, and that could have been disastrous. But it didn't unfold. FaZe got themselves to 11. And they're starting to crack back at the economy of Big, and this is where the game gets a little bit more interesting. Because Big, they have choices to make. They can start to drop down here, of course, and afford to buy this. What more can they do? Interesting point being raised by Nico, which is over how the fact timeouts work. Of course, Epicenter rocking the 30-second rule.
They're going to get themselves set up as well. A lot of tactics need to be talked as well, because their economy isn't looking in the best shape either. They lost too many players in that eco round, means that this buy is going to be bought beyond belief. 2 AKs, 3 P250s, and Kevlar to spare. Mostly evening it down, so hopefully they can start building that loss bonus, but it does mean they're going to come right down to the wire as FaZe come out swinging into this round, takes God B immediately with Nico. The push flash into the A main position, and already this default looking to fall to pieces from Big. Going down for the counter boost, got 1 man in Squeaky. Legia peaks at the perfect timing for Nico to shut him down. Grenade should shut him out as well. Easy peasy Japanesey, 5 versus 3. Favour the FaZe.
Keith trying to see if he can play towards white box. Next, making it work with an early kill. Keith spinning back around, snaps on towards the head of Rain and kills him with a quick crack of the neck. Carrigan playing nice and slow, Tabson walking in towards A main, could backstuff Olaf Meister here, and that could be masterful in itself as he does tap him down. Creating a 2 versus 2, and rightfully so. And goes straight for the plant. No weapon for him still, but certainly we'll see one. Guardian in position to try and look towards mid. Should spot out Tabson. That's already going to be some good information at this point. Carrigan on the site will know exactly where Keeve is playing towards. Will start to look better and better for this retake for FaZe. Guardian finds 1, but Keeve again the second. Look at how low Keeve is, 3 HP. Guardian straight on the diffuser, ballsy move. Keeve has no idea what is going on. Play the fill, but can he get there in time? Keeve, just a second to spare. Big, they get themselves a map point off the back of that. Disastrous for FaZe. The decision to stick it over taking the fight comes back to haunt them.
You can see why Keeve was trying to be so timid. He didn't want to peek because he only 3 HP. Taking that Angel and losing basically means disaster for Big, and FaZe buy themselves back into that 2-0. But now, he eventually bit the bullet, went around peeking and find that frag. 15-11, as you say, a disaster for FaZe. As they're reset, they're down to a force buy once again to save themselves, and Big could be taking us to a 3rd map. They'll make their way in towards that default once again. Boosted over into mid, got beat, looking for info, backed up by Tabson. Bomb also there as well, but Tabson has spotted the first couple of men, the first couple of faces from the FaZe side. They will just hold back for an extra couple of seconds. They know they've got the weapon advantage. All they need to do is play this push to perfection, and then they will close out the map 16-11.
Be already looking to spot towards mid once again. FaZe, of course, not going to give up by this one, not by a stretch, but it's going to be a hard ask. Their weaponry is so all over the place. They've managed to bodge something together, but it's going to be a real hard task for them to actually hold on to these sites. It comes down to a perfectly calculated mid-swing. The flash is good, the kills are good. Olaf Meister and Guardian both finding 1. Nico close on the door, gets a kill of his own. An advantage comes in, 4 versus 2. Tabson playing towards mid. Guardian will be able to spot him out, sees the head, misses the shot. but information is just that, and it's truly quite valuable. Look at the aggressive position from Rain. If they drop down Vent, that's a frag. If Guardian swings, that could be a frag in its own right. Tabton catching one player off guard, spins around for a second, but Nico peeks down from Highway, returns the favor, gets the kill. Now playing around the back boxes, trying to play with his teammate, and it's so paramount that he does just that, because Kyiv is 100 HP and swinging, but he doesn't have the bomb. With 10 seconds left, this round is off the table. FaZe will keep this stream alive. They are up to 12. What more can they do?
I do not believe it. Big had every advantage going into that round, but FaZe still won it, which is just a testament to what this team is like. FaZe still have 3 more rounds to take, and then an overtime. So it's still not out of the woods just yet for the CT side. They've recovered 2 AK, so that's a bonus. AWP coming in from Guardian as well. Full buy off the back of that round. Big gonna have to eco by down a couple of players with a little bit of extra Kevlar helmets and a little bit of utility as well. So pistol execution couldn't be that bad of a strat if Big wanted to go for it. And initially starting things off, it looks like that might be the case. Just smoke off on towards the cross, flashbang your way in and try to get a bomb plant. It's very, very tight-knit, that defensive from the FaZe side, so it could still go well. Karrigan even getting out the boost. They could catch them off guard. 1 minute and 20 to go. The CTs wait for the push to come on through. Here it is. Karrigan gets the first, sprays onto the second, looking for the third. Men, 4 kills for him. Shuts it all down. Kyiv left alone, 1 versus 5. Olaf comes up and steals a kill away. And that'll be 13th round on the board for FaZe. Being a nice advantage, or maybe a potential advantage, but sadly this did not come to fruition in this case.
Perhaps one of the hardest obstacles now for FaZe presents itself. The full buy from Big. One of the final times they're going to have themselves a full buy in this game. What is the play going to be? Are you going to get flat out aggressive? Are we going to be seeing it execute? Are you going to be just defaulting out like normal? So many options. But the decision seems to be made that they're going to get themselves tucked straight in towards A main, sending a player swiftly towards door. Next, wanting to be aggressive here is what he's done so well all game long. A good aggressive smoke put in towards A main. Leggy up, ready to over towards door, to pop out on towards quad and MBK and clear that portion of the map, as well as be a surprise, of course, towards yellow. Got be dropping down in towards mid, could well catch a Olafmeister. That's a crucial pick to find, but Olafmeister wants to find it, and so he shall. Pushing out mid, but does he know there's a second player there? Tabson trying to support his teammate, smoke towards connector, who will allow mid control to be taken. A lot of pressure now being put on towards this A site up from Highway. Olafmeister's still there lurking in the wings though, but Karrigan and Nico are about to be tested. A truly dynamic duo. As the push comes in, Nico finds the first, drops the bomb. Next, now ready to push an into him. Kyiv holding tightly on towards Forklift, takes his head right off, clean in fact, as Next finds the second. Rain wrapping him from behind, but he's got to go fast. 2 players to find, of course. Bomb still dropped. It's yet to be picked up. Kyiv running forward for it now. But such an awkward engagement it'll be, because Rain knows exactly where these players are now. He could swing at any moment and deny that plant, which is exactly why they're being careful. Olafmeister, a crispy clean 1-tap. But next, we'll trade. Rain right with the backstab. FaZe Clan, they take it 15-14. 1 away from overtime.
And that's how the cookie crumbles. Thank God Olaf got that first pick, otherwise it may not have been so decisive on the defensive of the A site. As you say, that dynamic duo of Karrigan and Nico working to their finest, shutting down the push, and now Big are up for a force buy. They only need to steal around the way to find themselves 1-1 in this series against FaZe, and FaZe only need 1 round away to go to overtime. Let's see if they can do it. They've got a full buy, Big down to the force. 1 AK, 2 Deagles, Tech 9s, P250s as standard. And of course the utility out for the T side. In towards that default once again, heading out towards Squeaky, and a FaZe have boosted Nico on towards that Shroud boost once again. Be challenged on from Legia potentially, but Big are just waiting. Big are just setting up for whatever plan they've got going forward in this round. Olaf peeks out from mid, from Z Connector, spots out 2 players, gets a grenade out onto 1 more, tags him extremely low. God B also on 3 HP, and now Nex has got to do his damage. First AK kill, got to find the second man. They don't realize Nico's on this Shroud boost, and with the AWP chumming on through, Nico could shut down this whole thing. Indeed he does. 1 spray, 2 sprays, third man on God B, out towards Highway, and this round is virtually done unless he lands head, and he's not going to be able to do it. 15 rounds on the board for FaZe. And we go to overtime.
FaZe managing to pull through. Mistake after mistake allowed Big Clan to 15, but they didn't allow them to walk it to 16. They did not allow them to take victory. Instead, the match resets. We head into overtime, just like you say. It's MR3 10K. It's going to be a fight to a very bloody death, as Big Clan wants desperately to play out a third overpass. Certainly a rocky map for both of these teams, in fact, which is one of the beautiful attributes of it, and the reason why it could be such an entertaining decider. They're also big to get there. They still need to overcome FaZe in this map. Again, to point out next, playing so incredibly well right now. Keeve turning up with one hell of a shot of the AWP, a jump boost in towards Guardian, completely caught off guard. Rain playing towards the back of their smoke, aware that a push could come his way. But Big with an advantage, they will not play their hand. They will fall back, fold away from this round, and instead look to rekindle their positions and set themselves up for the potential A-take.
Unbelievable from Keeve. You usually go for that run jump boost when you're trying to just gain information, but they put the AWP there to try and get the pick, and it works out in the best of ability. Absolutely shreked. And now Guardian's down a 5-on-4 will ensue for Big as they go into this default once again. Mid control being gathered by Gobby and Co. Got a challenge up against Olofmeister once again, but he's completely blind as he gets out utility to try and stall the T side. It doesn't work out at all as they get one more pick to the 3 versus 5. 2 AWPs and an M4. But Rain's still holding face. He could still be the linchpin. He could still make the big difference in this round because there are 2 players up there. Next does spot him. Next does take him down. And now it's all down to Nico to try and hold this one together out towards default. Keeve takes him out of the action, gets his second in the round, and leaves it up to Olof to clutch it out and save. He takes one more kill, but that may be all he's going to get as the bomb goes down. And Big looks set for round 16.
Big, the team that was so close to winning this map, the team that started off strong in overtime as well, as they will be the first to get themselves around on the board in this first half of overtime. And first to everything indeed. Now we look to see FaZe's response, of course. 10K hints at the economic stress that is going to be put on FaZe if they drop out of this round as well. Making a perfect 3-0 half looking likely for Big. They can make this round stick. But that said, it is going to be a double lot setup, some big investment from FaZe, and when they pulled this out in normal time, it actually did work out for them. It was very close, it was very, well, down to the wire, but still was a positive change. Let's see if that at least is going to reminisce of normal time, as Nico going to throw a nice and deep nade. Smoke in hand, but not going to throw. Will hear out go B, bear in mind. Molly comes through. Be careful not to be exposed from door. Nugget was hunting for that frag.
Big will hold back. Could set up for an A-site execute. Haven't seen that in a very long time on Cash. They got the smokes for it though. They got the utility as appropriate. So I'm curious to see what they will do with it. Double up in play from FaZe Clan as well. It means that if Big are able to take this round, it means we're probably going to be looking at a simple 3-0 half for the T side. Minute to go. Full investment down from both sides, but it's much more risky for FaZe. Smokes away, Legia. Gonna prompt out some sort of response from FaZe, trying to get something to work with other than just a little bit of info, just jumping around. Might try and sell the rotation, but so far it's not coming on through. Smokes down, Carrigan shuts the door, and Legia opens it right back up again. Molotov's away, he sprays through it, but he isn't quite able to land a kill onto Carrigan. Nico chimes in with the first Carrigan. They double up, they cross it out, Legia goes down. Nico gets 3 kills with the M4 and leaves it up to Keeve in a 1v4. The AWP in his hand, a bomb on his back, and a dream in his heart. He takes down Olof, but Nico is there to deny it. A 4K to close out the series of 4s for FaZe, 16-16.
It's gotta be said, Nico is so damn good at this game. His positioning on point, sitting atop a red container, full blind, and there was a slight whiff in there, but his positioning nonetheless carried him through to get those 3 frags, and ultimately led to the 4th as well. Beautiful stuff from him. And a round that certainly plays crucial to the scoreline, as it's 16-16, equal as anything, with only one more round to be thrown in this first half. Good smoke towards Boost to try and counter off that molly. Legia is going to get ready to put his teammates comfortably up. Rain playing very close to mid, will be aware of that fact, finds the first. Olofmeister, a big flick for a second. Gobi trying to find a trade on towards Carrigan, and, well, so damn close, and will pull through, but not before. Ooh, nearly being punished by the molly. Rain sitting in the mid-smoke. Gobi knows, finds the pick. Tabson as well. A headshot for him on towards Olafmeister. Pits us in a 2 versus 2. A battle for the ages as Gobi is ready to take down Highway. Guardian peeking up towards the vent side of mid. Clearing it out bit by bit. Has to be so damn careful. This really is such a tight round. You got Tabson, a player that's been rising up the scene against legends like Nico and Guardian. Nico with that first pick puts Tabson in such a hard spot. Can the young gun do anything at all? The answer is no. Nico holds the angle, gets himself the headshot, and that is that done and dusted. 17-16 will be the first half of OT concluding. The second half about to get ready to go.
FaZe in very risky territory there on that second buyout, but they get it together. 17 rounds on the board, 2 away from taking the series. Big 2 away from second overtime, 0.3 away from taking this map to go to third. Again, FaZe are fighting to win. Big are fighting to stay alive. If you've ever got a reason to fight, that's damn well it. Big on the CT side. AWP coming out from Kyiv. 4 M4s, 5 AKs, meanwhile for FaZe as they go aggressive, and Tabson looking to already set up the same boost on Shroud that FaZe clan used against Big so many times on that CT side. Here comes FaZe straight out the gate. Rain gets the first, immediately reads it, but Tabson comes up with a kill. Olaf does take him out of the action to turn it into a 3 versus 4, and the CTs are completely locked out of the A site. Back towards Truck, back towards Highway. Legia and Co are trying to get some sort of advantage, but Godby tagged up hard. Legia does catch Olafmeister off guard, goes for the AK to at least have that much, and Godby also on the site does get one pick before he gets traded back. So 2 versus 2, bombs down in the open. They got to find these kills, and Leia spots out Kerrigan, sneaking in from A-main, leaves it all to Nico to clutch it. 1 versus 2. If there was a man to do it, it would be him. 55 seconds on the clock, the bomb is on his back, and Kyiv knows exactly where this last man is. Time is a-ticking, back behind Quad, but Kyiv is going to hold face and wait for an opportunity to present itself.
Clock is winding its way down, 30 seconds about to whistle on by. A penny could drop and you could hear it amongst the silence. The bomb echoes into distance. The plant comes through. Nico holding the headshot angle will back away. Looking towards A main now, very cautious on the approach that Kyiv will be taking. Bear in mind there's an AWP, that does make some noise. The scope gonna kick on in. Kyiv being very loud now about his position, starting to hop on around. Nico aware of this fact. Doing the tango. Dancing around this red container. Over on towards Cardboard. Kyiv, aware of this fact, jumps on over. Nico now taking him at face value. A few shots come through. The Orphan keeps trying so hard. Kyiv's so patient. And he lands it.
What a war of attrition. Who was going to break first? And it was Nico, the man that panicked. Kyiv kept cool as ice. And it really kept down to the wire for that one. AWP wins it out. And Kyiv saves Big, 17-17. And once again, pushes FaZe to this force down situation. Of course, they haven't bought the AWP, so not a huge amount of investment coming in from FaZe, but it is still massive and big. It could put them in a very dire spot with this round victory. FaZe already playing in very, very quick. Are they going to rush down B site? There's no way they are. Godby trying to defend. Kyiv gets the first pick. Legia comes up with a second. Godby sprays onto the bomb partner, shuts him down, looks for Olaf and Guardian. Olaf falls. Guardian, last man left to clutch it in a 1 versus 5. He's found the third. 2 players are tagged up hard. He's going to make his way on towards the site. He's got time to play with, and potentially the retaker's advantage of this T side. Down to the last few seconds, potentially, of this round. He's looking for a pick. He's looking for an opportunity, but it's not presenting themselves. Big are holding back, and they have got all their bases covered. Guardian's going to make his way back away from B halls, and may just run straight into the clutches of Legia. Doesn't even anticipate his positioning, so Legia takes the headshot and turns it to map point to Big.
This is too damn close. We said it would be easy 2-0 for FaZe. Everyone thought it'd be such a simple 2-0 for FaZe. People were saying after Nico hits these nutty 4Ks that they guarantee FaZe will 2-0 this series. Well, look at it now. It's 18-17 in favor of Big. And they're a round away from forcing us to our third. Absolute madness, it really has to be said. And a rush B call from FaZe. That to me shows some panic. Of all things to do, a rush B. Get picked apart like vultures for a defensive CT setup. FaZe now much slower, much more thought out, looking to go over on towards boost and get mid-control, something that Big Clan will be very likely to gift them, judging by the fact that they're already playing Kiev in towards Connector. Ready to take that fight, of course. But still nice and slow from FaZe, and that's what counts here. Welcome change from that previous round.
Lots of flashbangs, lots of Molotovs. Looks like it's initially in A-site execution. At least from the far out position that I saw it at. Tabson going to get Molotov away from his position at quad, goes towards MBK corner, but could spot other players making their way in from highway. Indeed, Lee gets two, next gets two as well. A third comes through, and Big will close out the map at 19-17. FaZe fall apart at the absolute last second. So we'll go through a break, and we'll go to third map. We will go in just a couple of seconds. Don't go anywhere, back in a few.